What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 7 Sunday morning live stream. I'm your host, Ben Hustler, joined by Sam Sherman. Sam, we did not do a pod this week together. My schedule was a little weird because I was going to the Browns game. Obviously, NBA's back, so we have not done a pod yet. So I don't know. I haven't talked to you a ton, just a little bit, but what's your thoughts on the slate here while we let everyone join up here?
I think it's interesting in that I don't know. I mean, if you agree, I mean, I think I'm not the only one who thinks this. I mean, it's like running back this week is so weak. Like, I think I get the play with the obvious plays, like someone like Derrick Henry. I think that'll be a big decision for everyone. I don't know if don't think I'm going to play him in cash, which obviously could burn me. It normally does, but I think it's an interesting week in that basically, there's not a ton of, with all these teams on bye, there's not a massive amount of value, but it's interesting that, like, if you want to do a Mahomes stack, which I think will be popular, obviously, it's like really difficult to have that and run it back with Henry and have a good team. And so I think things like that make it an interesting one. I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm expecting more news than we were talking about earlier because it just seems like too easy to not have all this, like all these injuries change the slate. But that Waller one could be pretty big.
Yeah, so Bales just texted me that Schefter said Shepard's warm-up did not go well. So
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I like when they said that he suffered a setback with his hamstring, like that's already a bad sign to me. So I don't know. It kind of
yeah.
seems like he's not going to play. Waller, it seems like he's really just not going to play. The problem is that's the 4 o'clock window, so we're not going to have that news until after the games are already going on. So I would just say, like, I don't think you can play Waller really in cash. If you want to take a tournament shot on him, sure. Just be ready to
Mhm.
swap. And then if you're banking on him not playing and you put guys like Renfro or something in, I would probably like Renfro I think is a good play regardless, but if you're gonna play like Foster Moreau like backup, I would like have a swap ready if Waller ends up being active.
Yeah, and I think this is a good. I think we also talk about. I mean, people obviously don't use late swap enough; they won't. But I think this is one of those, we kind of had it like week one, like it totally burned me and everything. But like, I think there's always some risk. I don't think sometimes with someone like Waller, or say all these Giants guys will yeah, like some become good cash plays. But I think sometimes people like over swap onto them before the slate starts, and like yeah, there's like value there if Waller's out and Moreau's like starting at the min or whatever, but like it's not like Foster Moreau is going to have the same role as Darren Waller or as the same player in any way. And so, like, to me, that doesn't mean like I would lock in Foster Moreau as much as it mean like I like Renfro that much better or Ruggs is interesting or something like that. That's kind of how I view it, at least.
Yeah, Tristan, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate that. So I'll answer your question first, and then we'll kind of dive in here. Atlanta Miami game as low on stack. I don't know if it's gonna be crazy low. Tua's like really popped like as the weekend has come on here. Like projection wise, I think it's a good matchup. Hurts that he's not gonna have Parker. It looks like, but I mean he has Waddle, he has Gesicki. It's a good matchup, and then you have Calvin Ridley who's underpriced on the opposite side of that game on DraftKings. So I do think it's an interesting game stack, but I'm not sure. Like I think Ridley's going to be owned. I think Gesicki's going to get some ownership. So I don't know how low owned it's going to be. But I do think it's an interesting spot.
Yeah, I would say that Ridley to me has got so much buzz that he's someone, and this sounds counterintuitive, but I like only want to use Ridley as part of the stack because Matt Ryan will get some ownership, but I think that that's the way to get it quote unquote different. I think like Ridley, in my opinion, could be like the most popular one off, which I don't know, that doesn't ever sound great. I mean, like I know he's a stud, but when you have like your one off as guys 20% owned, that's not as good. So I would, if possible, try as much to get him in as part of the game back with Matt Ryan. Or if you're playing two, I mean, I never play two of them. He sucks, but I that's how I would approach it personally. I mean, Ben, are you playing Ridley in cash? 'Cause I've been debating that all week.
Yeah, I think he really strong cash play. I think he's gonna be one of the higher owned players, but I don't know, man. I think like with my personal build, he isn't fitting in. I think Chris Godwin's a better cash play than him for less money. So that's kind of where my
I
mid tier
agree.
is going. But I think a lot of people will play Godwin and Calvin Ridley together.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think he's a good cash play. I just personally he's not in my build, but I don't know. I mean that could definitely burn me.
Henderson and Cup and Cash in the same lineup. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine because think about how much of like the touches you're getting just with literally those two.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start diving into some of these. Aaron, completely agree. This is the duo you want. I jokingly asked
Yeah.
Anthony if he was joining us on this stream this morning. He responded he couldn't because of a clam bake. I mean, imagine
Just
going to a clam
pathetic.
bake on NFL Sunday. I mean, I just can't. I don't know. I just can't fathom doing this. It just sounds like the worst thing of all time to me, personally.
I'm so pissed when I asked him to join. I was like, no, no, because then we talk about the Browns despite them not even being on the slate. Just,
Well, I was like jokingly asking him, but I didn't expect him to. Does there anything sound worse than going to a clam bake today? I don't know. It just sounds terrible.
he's like over too. I was like, oh my
Yeah, and there's
god,
probably like
that's
no TV, is there?
no,
That just
no.
sounds
It's
terrible.
probably a bunch of middle-aged people that don't know what football is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Top
Bo, it's
cash
okay.
game.
It's okay to play Henderson and Cup. I did that last week. I think that's fine. No issues with
Then
that.
I'd say top cash. I'd say for cash, I really am probably only considering Holmes, Lamar, and Hurts.
Yeah, I think that's the
Um,
three.
yeah,
I think most people it's Lamar or Hurts though. I really don't think people are playing Mahomes.
no, I agree. It's just so expensive.
Yeah.
Um, cash running backs: Henderson, Chuba, and who? Yeah, and I like them. I don't know. I'm probably gonna play two running backs because I just think there's, like I was saying, there's not a ton of value because like the running back pool is so bad. It's like you basically have Derrick Henry, which is an insane workload, and then you just kind of drop all the way down. I will say I don't think Fournette is a bad cash play. I don't know if I'll do it, but I think he's viable for cash. I think Swift is viable for cash.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Henry, Hubbard, Lenny, and like Henderson. Obviously, you have to play Henderson in cash. I think, and then it's Henry, Chuba Hubbard, Lenny. I think that's like the pool for me.
mm-hmm,
I don't hate Booker though. If Sterling Shepard's out, I don't hate Booker.
mm-hmm, I agree. Then on Fanduel, you go on Hubbard or Fournette.
I have Fournette on FanDuel. It's a little bit cheaper.
Higher touchdown equity. 2v2, Devontae, Nicole, or Godwin Ridley.
Second one, you have to play Godwin in
That's a,
cash. I think.
yeah, I was about to say the first, but I was like, no, Godwin is just too cheap for the role. He also has the best matchup of them, not to mention.
Yeah.
Because Evans, although he can burn anyone, like should be covered by Jalen Johnson, who's like Bears one good cornerback. Godwin or Ridley on FanDuel. I'm trying to remember what their price is.
I just prefer Godwin. Straight up.
Oh yeah, Godwin on FanDuel. Yeah, yeah. Connor Edmonds. I don't know if you're saying to pick one. I always will side with Edmonds. I know Ben likes Connor. James Connor.
I like Connor
I
this
just think
week.
his. Yeah, I mean, I just think his ceiling is because like he kind of has to score like 2 touchdowns, in my opinion, to like pay off in like a tournament because he doesn't get any like catches.
Yeah. Yeah, with AB
Yeah,
going
I
down,
think.
Godwin is. I think Devontae and Godwin are like the locks for me on the slate, personally.
Yep, I agree.
And I think Cooper Cup is like I don't think Cooper Cup's a bad play at all. I think he's a great play, but I think he's going to be higher owned than Devontae, and I just think this is such a good
Which
spot for Devontae.
this might be his best match for the entire year.
Yeah, and then their one corner's out as well. Like they just have no one back there, and people will worry about the blowout, but they're both of those teams are in similar spots to where they could blow out. Now I will say the Rams have been more aggressive, like just passing the ball, but I mean if it's a blowout to where they're just not gonna have Rodgers throw it 30 times, I mean Adams could easily have 2 touchdowns in that scenario and a ton of yards. Like it really doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm. Darrell Williams, Cardinals D, or Ridley, Jets D. I don't have a ton of interest in Darrell Williams. I think last week was probably like the max I could see him getting personally. I just don't be kind of 2 touchdowns. I mean, the Chiefs just don't like they're not a run heavy. I mean, I will say it's interesting to see how the targets and everything compared to how many that Clyde's gotten in way more games, but I don't think I don't love the Darrell Williams play at all, especially at that price.
Yeah, I think for cash games, you probably want to play Cardinals D on DraftKings, but I don't mind Darrell Williams. It's just I don't know. I told Sam I don't know if that was yesterday or 2 days ago. I've learned to not fade the chalk D in cash because it just hurts you more than it helps you. Because if they randomly score a touchdown, like you're just gonna get screwed because so many people have them, and then if they suck, it doesn't matter because everyone has them. So I just try to play the chalk at defense and cash.
That being said, Ben, I think Cardinals D is such an easy fade in tournaments.
Yeah, you never. I don't really ever play chalk D in tournaments, but for cash, it just hurts more than it helps.
Yeah. No, I mean, not that the Cardinals D is cheap. It's like I remember, I was such a fish play last week. Like the fact that I played Lions D in tournaments at all, so
I think I played them in cash. Yeah. Did we play them in cash?
I did too. No,
I think we had the same lineup last week.
Yeah, and in tournaments, it's like, what the hell was the point of that? So stupid. Cup or Godwin, bigger priority? Definitely Godwin.
Yeah.
But also, those are hard to compare, It's like those are so...
Yeah, Godwin is just way too cheap, but Cup has Adams and Hill around him, so you could use one of those guys.
Also, to answer Tristan's question above about line movement, I haven't seen anything significant. I mean, the Bears, Bucks has dropped a couple. Falcons has dropped a couple. I mean, the Falcons, Dolphins dropped a few, and the Bengals, Ravens, but there hasn't been any massive line movement. Chuba, Swift. I don't know, man. I think I'm probably way too high. I think Hubbard is just such a smash play. Royce Freeman hasn't gotten it.
It's Chuba. It's just I can't in good conscience play a running back in cash that's like a 16-point underdog. I know I love Swift. He gets a ton of targets, but it's too easy for the bottom to just fall out on him, and I just don't want to risk that in cash.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, is Henry too expensive or cash? I don't think that's the right way to put it. I think
he's underpriced, personally.
Yeah, for the role and his ceiling, but the way
it just comes down to him versus the receivers, right? And it's for
me, I'd rather play Kupp and Devontae over Derrick Henry personally.
Yeah, I would probably rank them Devontae number 1. Kupp and Henry, I think, is it's a conversation for sure. I just think Devontae is clearly number 1 for me.
Yeah. Seals Jones, Howard for GPP. Yeah, I like Seals Jones. Cole Kmet could get some buzz. He's only 3,000. He's sucked, but no Jimmy Graham could be maybe 100% snap share. Trying to think. I don't mind personally, CJ Zoma is part of a stack. I'm not saying he's like good, but
Yeah.
I don't mind that one. But I don't really like a ton of it. The tight end this week is, I mean, it's always bad, but it's pretty bad. Actually, Cameron Brate, I think, is interesting for a buck stack.
Yeah, I think that like OJ Howard's really interesting for tournaments. He's not cheap, but I like Higbee a lot in tournaments.
Yep.
As well.
Gesicki or Goddard in cash.
That's tough. I think it was Goddard, but then when Parker, if he like once he officially gets ruled out, it's probably Gesicki.
I think Gesicki's a better play. I mean, the Goddard thing, he should have much like more of a role and everything like that with Ertz gone, but Gesicki just like literally is a wide receiver. So
I just don't trust. I was talking to someone. I was just like, the Dolphins are coming off the London game and they didn't get the bye week, and I just don't trust that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. I think you can poke holes in that just based on that, because most of the times the teams get the bye week and they just didn't get a bye, and I just don't trust it.
Stevenson in play for New England? No, that's just kind of thin on a full slate, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I like Damian Harris. I mean, I like Stevenson too. It's weird though. Like Stevenson is like a bigger back, but they've kind of been using him pass catching, similar to like James White. But Damian Harris is like good. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think I would play Stevenson in DFS. If you need to like desperation start him in season long because of the bye weeks, like that's fine. I can understand getting behind that. But I like Damian Harris a lot if you're gonna play a running back there in tournaments.
Khalif Raymond, it's kind of thin for me. I know he's gonna. I mean, Jared Goff just. I mean, I don't. I mean, that being said, I think like as part of a stack like that, how do you pronounce his name? Amon St. Brown or whatever, Amon St. Brown.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting, but Raymond. I mean, what's his ceiling? You know.
Yeah, I mean,
is Raymond gonna go for?
It would be St. Brown if you had to play a Lions guy, but I don't know. I just don't see the Lions having that.
If you want to play Raymond, though, I absolutely play him as part of a stack.
Like I don't think you have like if you stack Stafford, I don't think you have to run that back.
No, but for me, also the run back is DeAndre Swift, and that's it.
Yeah.
Best cash play in the flex, MTK at 6,200 or less.
I mean, I would need to know your lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, Hubbard is 6,100. Godwin 59. Yeah, Swift, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cheap tight end. I mean, I would honestly go Jones or Komet if I'm on the cheaper end. That's on it. I'm not considering anyone else for cash in like the cheapos personally.
I think you can use
unless
I think
Waller
you can
gets
use
ruled out
Komet.
before.
I think you can use Moreau if he like
Yeah,
if you're gonna use Moreau, just know that you're gonna have to move up to Komet if Waller is active. So you just need to have a way that you can find 500, whether it's like drop defense or whatever. Like I don't think Waller's going to play, but there's always a chance that he's active. So if he's active, you probably have to swap Moreau up to Komet for 500.
Fanduel cast Damian Harris, Darrell Williams. I would definitely go Damian Harris personally.
Yeah,
I think on Fanduel, Darrell Williams is way less useful because I don't think he's going to get 2 touchdowns every week. Because I just think like the touchdown upside is way better with Damian Harris, and the usage is probably going to be better. I mean, I know Williams had a lot of usage last week, but the Chiefs still just want to hammer or just throw the ball.
Yeah.
One receiver in the flex. I mean, you don't have to. I think that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of shifted my thoughts this year. Like we played wide receiver in the flex last week. I just don't mind it. I don't think I just don't think like you should go in and having a plan of saying I'm playing 3 running backs or I'm playing 4 receivers. Like it should just be whatever fits your lineup best.
In cash. Yeah, we talked about that. I mean, I just don't. I mean, like I like Higby. So Higby's somewhat interesting. I love him as part of stacks to differentiate. So you're not always playing just like Cup and Woods, but I don't really like Higby as a one-off at that price.
I would say like Gesicki and Goddard are gonna get ownership, but if you don't have the money, I mean, I'm comfortable dropping down to like Ricky Seals, Jones, Moreau, like we said.
Yeah.
I think is fine, honestly.
Yeah. Adams, Ty Johnson, or Cup and Bateman.
I mean, it's probably the second one. I would not play Tyler Johnson in cash.
Yeah, in cash, but yeah, obviously.
Now I will say if Shepard gets ruled out, you could play Dante Pettis. I don't know if you feel great about that, but like you could use Dante Pettis.
Fanduel, Waddle, or Bateman.
I would play Waddle.
Yeah. How big is the price difference? Bateman's 53. What's Waddle? I mean, I just think they're so different. Yeah, I mean, Waddle's. Oh wait, Waddle's only 50. Yeah, Waddle. My God, I forgot.
Waddle's what's going on over there?
Classic Fanduel. Favorite cash wide receiver under 65 on Fanduel.
I mean, it might be Waddle.
Yeah, seriously.
At that price.
Waddle, Harden, yes, maybe.
I mean, it's probably Waddle. I think you probably have to play Waddle at 59.
Devonta Smith is viable. Yeah.
I like Hardman though. Like people, well, okay, Jacoby Myers at 57 is going to get some ownership on FanDuel for sure. I like Hardman, but like Hardman on FanDuel is not like going to be owned. Well, I don't really think he's going to be owned on DraftKings either, but like he's less valuable on FanDuel. He has scored a touchdown on FanDuel. DraftKings, you could get by with him, 60 yards and like 4 catches at 4,200 or whatever he is. Like you can get by with that, but FanDuel, like you really need him to score. But I do think he scores today. I think this is the Hartman week. I really do.
Edmonds, FanDuel, cash. I don't really ever have any interest on Edmonds on FanDuel because
I'd rather play Booker. Booker's 5,500 on FanDuel. It's really cheap.
Okay, I'm surprised this has been this long until we got in this question about Miles Sanders. Okay, Miles Sanders. I don't think it's not been great the usage. I put it in my article this week. I mean, his snaps have been going up. It's been semi better. It's not that I think first of all, the matchup is good, but I know Hurts does a lot of the rushing and the Eagles are what they are and everything like that. But if nothing else, I like Miles Sanders. I just worry he's going to get too chalky. But I mean, 5,100 is an absolute on DK. At least it's an absolute ridiculous price.
I don't think he's going to be that owned.
No, I don't think he's going to be mega chalk. I think FanDuel, I have him 15% owned. DK, I have him at I don't know, between 12 and 15. He's not getting 30% owned, but I guess the price to me is just so low. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not
I like him as a play.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's a good play. I'm a Miles Sanders fan. I don't understand why they don't give him the ball more. It doesn't make any sense.
Cheapest wide receiver to be considered in cash right now for me before the
Bateman.
So it's after the Giants. Bateman, yeah.
This is so cheap.
Dude, that is such a guy that we're all going to play and it makes sense, but he's so viable that he's 0.
I might not play Bateman if Shepard's out. We'll see.
I might take Patterson instead. Already have Godwin and Shuba. Best play 1,600 or less.
Already have Godwin and Shuba.
I mean, for cash, yeah. I mean, I see you're playing Henderson. I mean, it's not actually this is proven. I hate playing the same running back in both games. Now, Swift's role is way different than the normal running back, but I like Swift at that price point. I like
You'd use Jacobs.
Ugh, man, I hate the like Josh Jacobs. He sucks.
I mean, I don't like him, but it wouldn't shock me if they want to run the ball more with Waller out. And Philly kind of plays that,
Also,
like they kind of play that defense where they'll sit back and like let you run on them and like attack the middle of the field rather than beat you on the outside. So, I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not playing him, but
Runner 600. I
I
guess I
just,
forgot. I mean,
dude, I
Brandon
think
Cooks.
I trust Jacobs more than Swift, dude. And I love Swift.
No.
I really do.
Oh my god, no. That's ridiculous. Oh my god, no.
I really think the Lions like
Dude,
just get.
Swift's score with his receiving is ridiculous.
No, I completely agree, but it's like
Like Josh Jacobs is bad.
I could see the Lions scoring like 3 points in this whole game, and I wouldn't be shocked.
I know, and Swift's gonna score 25. But yeah, I mean, Brandon Cooks, I think is getting a decent amount of buzz. I get the volume play. He's not my favorite,
I'm not
especially
playing
he's going to be really on.
Pass.
But, yeah, Darrell Williams or Jacoby Myers and cash. I would probably play Myers personally.
I might play Williams. I'm assuming you have no Chiefs if you're. So I would probably play Williams because I'm going to assume that you don't have any other Chiefs. The Chiefs are.
Yeah,
I legitimately. I have not felt as confident all season in a spot as I do about the Chiefs this week.
Fair. Anthony's words were, and I quote, "How I don't understand how Mahomes couldn't have his best game of the year." Whatever people want to think that.
And I doubt he's playing him. Oh, he is.
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got the AC seal of approval.
Oh,
Let's go. I don't know what is he. What is I'm gonna have to figure out what he's playing. He typed his core in by.
What the heck? He's playing like at freeze.
See if I can figure it out.
Well, AJ Dillon gets some action. I mean, I think it's a fool's errand to try to bet on.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on a blowout. There's so many good. Like mid-tier running back plays.
That's too thin for me. When you play Evans and Godwin together with Brady, I would recommend you absolutely. If I'm playing Brady, first of all, going really on their own. I love him. He might be my main team again, but I never play Brady without at least a double stack. 5.6K flex on DK.
I don't like anyone in that range. I would rather upgrade elsewhere. Drop that 5.5K down to like Renfro, Slayton if Shepard's out, like someone cheaper, and then upgrade elsewhere. I don't love that mid fives range unless you want to use Miles Sanders, which I think is fine.
Yeah. Sanders, Higgins, I think is still a good play. 49, just because his role is pretty big. But what, the Jets are without CJ Mosley? Oh, Sterling Shepard's out. Wow.
Nice. We like that. We like Darius Slayton. I think Darius Slayton's a really good play.
Oh, good.
In cash.
I'm actually glad Devontae Parker's out too.
What is Anthony playing?
Yeah.
He's got tight end and what's he doing here?
Okay. Nuke or Scary Terry and Cash.
I wouldn't play either
out of those
guys
two.
in
I'd pick
cash.
Terry. Oh, me either. I mean, Nuke. I mean, dude, Hopkins. Like, there will be at least it could be this week, whatever, where he will absolutely explode. Maybe it is against his former team, but like his big price, since it never changes, he'll always be under owned. Like at his price, like he has to go for 100 yards and at least a touchdown. And it's just like they just have 5 million people that they're throwing to.
So Anthony can do something really, really cool with his core, but he's not doing it. I know he's not. I don't know what he's playing. I can't give you an answer.
You rather pay for Cardinals defense Sanders or cheap Tennessee Diego Jacobs? Me.
What site are you?
Tennessee.
Darren, can you post what site you're talking about? I'll answer that when I know if it's Fanduel or Draftkings. What is the best KC play to get a piece of from that game in cash? I mean, it's Tyreek Hill is the best play, but
High scum.
it's tough to fit him in. So I don't know. I like Hardman a lot. I think Hardman's a great play this week. I could be wrong. He could do nothing. He hasn't been great, but I don't know. I think if there's a spot for Hardman to score a long touchdown, it's this week.
Aaron Jones, yeah, I think he's unfortunately like I thought it was like literally no one. I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna be that owned at all compared to like
Henderson. Yeah, he's not gonna be owned.
But he's I always like Aaron Jones. I write about him all the time, and he burns you a lot, but he's always so expensive. Like DK pressing that because his ceiling is like he can just absolutely pop off, which is a couple times a year, and it's always worth it because he's cheap. But just know that like he's not nearly as likely to hit his ceiling as someone like Henry or Henderson. But I think he's
okay. So Ramondre Stevenson is inactive.
Oh boy.
It is a bump to Damien Harris for it's not changing like the cash conversation, but I think for tournaments like that definitely I would probably want to get a little Damien Harris.
What a Bill Belichick move. I'm sure Stevenson's perfectly fine. He's just like, nah, you're stupid.
It's probably like, why am I using you as a pass catching running back? You weigh 270 pounds. Like maybe he just realized it doesn't make any sense.
Sam Darnold and single entry. I mean, as someone who lost money on Sam Darnold last week, a little bit bitter still. I mean, I
wouldn't play Sam Darnold. It sounds like to me they're just gonna go run the ball like so much, which I could be wrong, but like they could be saying that and then they're gonna do the opposite. But it would make sense. I mean, New York's run defense is bad. Carolina's offensive line is bad, and they don't want to like get Sam Darnold sacked a bunch. So I wouldn't be shocked if they run the ball a lot. That's part of why we like Hubbard so much.
Yeah.
Okay to play Fournette and Godwin together. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Chase Edmonds or Alex Collins? Edmonds.
Yeah, I would probably play Edmonds.
Fade Patterson and Cat. Yeah, I am not.
Yeah, I'm not playing.
If I get burned, Patterson, then that's on me. That was a process error then, clearly, but I'm not.
Godwin and Lenny, yeah, that's fine, Kevin. No issues with that. I think that's fine. I think Slayton is a super good play.
Yeah, I'm trying to update our projections now.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the projections once you update.
So, okay, wow, this is not significant. Did you realize that Kevin King is out for a good day too?
Yeah, I mean, I think like some of those like in tournaments, if you're playing Adams in tournaments, like you want a Washington guy because you want that game to probably stay kind of close. Cash, like it doesn't matter.
And I completely agree. I think that's such a sharp take because like if you have to think about it in a way where it's like, okay, I know Adams is like an anomaly, but like if Devontae Adams is going off, that means that the game probably is not like completely out of reach and that Washington should be throwing. And so like I agree that you definitely should. I would not like one off Adams, for instance, out of cash.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, and I'm saying that from a purely perspective, like if you're trying to win a tournament, it's more likely that if Adams pops off for 40 plus, at least one Washington guy probably has a semi chance of having two. Is Slayton a must in cash? No.
No, I don't think he's a must, but I think he's a good play. Like I wouldn't like I think him versus Bateman is like a legit conversation now. If you have the money.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Moreau cash play before Waller's out. Yeah. I think he's a good play. I think, like I said, if you're gonna play him, just be sure that you can get up to commit if Waller's active. But I might play,
Mm-hmm.
like I might plug him in myself. We'll see.
Williams, Johnny, or Slayton Goddard. Slayton Goddard for me. I'm not playing Johnny Smith.
Yeah, I wouldn't play Johnny Smith either. I would not play. I would play Arizona and Sanders, Darren, personally.
Yeah, but I would honestly go. I would go Slayton, Seals, Jones. I don't mind Goddard. I think is a good play. I think Seals Jones is like definitely a better play than Komet. I think his price is still too cheap just for his role, and I would say Slayton should be a
I mean, I'm
higher
fine with
floor.
Goddard.
No, I am too. I guess like I would say Slayton is probably a better play than Bateman, just in terms of like volume. But Goddard also is probably a better play than Jones. But I mean, I don't know. I would bet. What would you pick out of those two? I'd probably pick Slayton.
Yeah, I would play Slayton and Goddard. I think that's fine.
All right, so got those two out. Yeah, Slayton is pretty interesting. Then again, isn't Slayton also hurt anyway? Like he was like obviously questionable.
Yeah, I think he was like fine, but then they said yesterday that he like suffered a setback with his hamstring. I don't know when he suffered that, but once I heard that, I was like, that's not good.
All right, Myles Gaskin. Yeah, dude, if you can figure out that backfield, then you have an edge. Like 2 weeks ago, Myles Gaskin. Also, someone was randomly playing him against me in season long. What the hell is that? But Gaskin like got all that usage and this mega like target share and all this shit, and then the next week he had like 2 carries for 3 yards. I have no idea what they're doing. Like that's just too. I don't even know. Ben knows. As a Myles Gaskin truther, I just don't understand why you don't use him all the time. But it's neither here nor there.
I mean, I just wouldn't. There's too many good mid-tier running back plays to want to do that, I think.
Yeah.
I will say so with Stevenson out, I think Harris bumps above someone like Darrell Williams for 100 less. Like
Yeah.
I think I would rather play Harris at this point. But I also think the Jets cover this game, so I don't think the Patriots are going to blow them out. I'm sorry, Sam.
Patriots are somehow like both worse and better than
They're such a weird team, man. It makes
like,
no
the
sense.
team makes no. Like last week versus the Cowboys, like they deserve to lose, but also like them not covering was also ridiculous. If that makes any sense. Or like versus the Bucks, like apparently Belichick now is a bad coach when it comes to like decisions late in the game. But
Patterson or Hopkins GPP? I would take Hopkins, Tristan.
Just not Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, Andy, you can play Mahomes naked in cash. I think that's fine. I don't have. You can always play quarterback naked in cash. Like it doesn't matter. If you guys have any last minute questions, you guys can drop those in. I think we answered the majority of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cordell is cool. Yeah, I don't have a problem with him. I just think like he's kind of been playing to.
I have a problem with
He's just been getting lucky, man. Like he's not gonna score all those touchdowns, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, like that time, dude. What was it? He scored like 3 touchdowns in like less than 20 snaps or something. Like that was ridiculous.
Yeah. Aaron, that's a great
Renfro
point.
versus Ruggs. I love Hunter Renfro this week. Just let you know.
That's a great point, Aaron. If you are watching this, hit the like button. It takes 1 second. We appreciate it. Renfro versus Ruggs. I think Renfro's a good play with Waller out. I think Renfro's a good play. Anderson, Higgins, Renfro. Give me Renfro for sure. Yeah, if you want to use Harrison cash, Darren, you can. I just don't. Like, I'm not bumping him above Chuba. I'm not bumping him above Lenny. I know those guys are more expensive, but it's not that crazy. Like, it's only a couple hundred. I think you can get up to. You can get up to them. Damian Harris, Komet, Eagles D, or Bateman, Goddard, Cars D. Second one, CJ.
I agree.
I appreciate that, Darren, very much. Is Ridley a priority in DraftKings cash? I wouldn't say he's a priority. I would say the priorities are Godwin. For cash, priorities Darrell Henderson, Chris Godwin. Like I really think that's the only must plays, truly. But
Yep.
Ridley's gonna be owned. I think he's a good play for sure. I'm kind of worried that I don't have him, but can't play everybody.
Rank Van, Ty Johnson, Bateman. Depends on what kind of contest and rest of the lineup, but Van I would only play as part of a stack with Stafford.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson, same. Bateman, I think, is a good cash play and everything, and maybe you want to stack Lamar, but I would not, for instance, I would not one-off Bateman in tournaments.
I don't think I'd play Bateman in GPP. I think it's cash only. Like you said, Van's a good way to get lower ownership on your Stafford stack, I think, for sure.
But I will warn you, I do that like every week, and he almost never.
Ertz or RSJ, DraftKings cash? It's RSJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, 100 likes equals a free month of MVP. Why would you guys not want this free month? It's a fantastic deal.
Right.
Bold call. I don't know, Sam. What's your bold call today?
Give me a second. I was just thinking about this earlier, and I get distracted updating our projection, and so I forgot what I was going to say. So I need to remember it again. Oh, I think. Given I'm actually getting two because one is like my weekly one that burns me, and then I'll get my actual one. So my first one is my weekly. Robbie Anderson goes for over 100 yards and a touchdown. That won't happen. My actual bold call is that Mecole Hardman scores 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I'm just gonna steal that. That's mine too, because I feel great about Mecole this week. Can you, whenever you update it, tell me what you have Slayton projected for? I would guess it's like 10.5, 11-ish points. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, I think it's. I'll have to update his points or not. It's interesting for ownership wise. I just don't think he'll end up being.
No, he's not gonna get. I don't think he's gonna get bumped up that much.
Not like Stafford isn't like a big name enough. Yeah. Where it's like, oh my god, all these massive targets. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people are playing him. Lowest defense on Fanduel, Chiefs. Chiefs defense is healthy this week for the first time in a while. I think they win this game. Yeah, I like Chiefs D for cheap on Fanduel. Fournette or Hubbard for DraftKings cash. I prefer Hubbard on DraftKings and Fournette on Fanduel. Yeah, Darren, I think McKissick's fine in tournaments. No issues there. So that's someone like if you're playing Adams, and you don't want to use McLaurin or RSJ, you could use McKissick. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anthony, I think that's a little too much. I would pick, I don't know, Tyreek and Kelsey just don't correlate that well together because Tyreek can score so quickly. Like, you're not going to allow Kelsey to rack up catches if they're scoring like long touchdowns. So I would probably say you could play.
Yeah, their price point.
Yeah, like you could play Hardman and Hill together. I think that's fine.
It's like it's kind of I don't know the way I think this like sounds silly, but like it's like say you stack the three of them, and for them to have like GPP winning scores, they all could probably drop at least 30. Not that they can't, but like I don't know, Mahomes have to go like for 4 to 5 touchdowns, and they all have to go to Tyreek and Kelsey, which is not insane, but I'm just saying like pretty unlikely in my opinion. And it more than that, it hinders the rest of your lineup.
Yep. CJ, it's probably the second one I think for cash.
I can't do a golf stack.
I cannot play Jared Goff at all.
That was a player's question.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't do it. So if you guys want a crazy stack like tournament wise, it's probably Fields. Like I would be fine playing Fields. I don't want to play Goff though. You play Justin Fields, his pass catchers are cheap, Godwin's cheap. You know, like that's a really interesting stack, I think. Yeah, Tony, I just don't see a reason to fade Henderson in cash. If he has just an okay game, it's not going to kill you. But if he just goes off, it's going to hurt you really bad. So I would not fade him.
Yeah.
I mean, do you agree with that, Sam? I don't see why you would want to fade him.
Yeah, no, that's why I was trying to think of the best. I think you said it pretty well. It's like there's just no like. It's just one of those things. Like if he's going to be 60% owned in like single entry double ups, like if he sucks or like gets hurt or something, like doesn't really matter. But if he goes off for 25, like he legitimately had no chance of catching.
Yeah.
But I was saying Henderson, super viable to fade in tournaments. I'm not saying I'm going.
Yeah, I wouldn't play. I probably wouldn't play any of him in tournaments, to be honest.
It's like just kind of like. Well, let's get a couple more here, and then I gotta go swap out all my Shepherd teams. What's the deal with Willis? Who's Willis? Willis McGahee?
Dude, pour one out for Willis McGahee. Did you remember him?
Pour one out. Such a wagon. He was such a stud.
Dude, Willis McGahee.
I
forgot about that guy.
I miss.
Everyone on I think Philly Vegas is fine. I do think Waller being out takes some appeal from that away a little bit. You know, assuming that he is out. Used to party with that dude in Denver. Oh my god. Maybe the best comment we've gotten in like a couple weeks.
I know I did that comment.
Dude, he used to party with Brandon Marshall. Hey, Brandon Marshall, like, Do you know the Travis story with Brandon Marshall? I think he like.
Dude, I used to live in Colorado. Champ Bailey lived in my neighborhood, and he was like gave out like, the absolute best candy. It was good. But I actually did. I have when Peyton Manning's neighborhood outlet, dude.
My gosh. Travis, are you in here? Travis loves Brandon Marshall, man.
What a ridiculous person to love.
You'll have to ask him the story about that. Birdman? Birdman is a legend, dude.
He's such a fuck. Are you kidding me? Birdman is like bad. Like that was the other problem.
Birdman is a legend. Why are you disrespecting?
People in Denver are like, oh my god, why is this guy still on the team? It was so funny.
Then he went into the Heat.
They're like
when they had LeBron. That was legendary,
like,
bro.
That was pretty legendary.
All right, guys. I think we answered all of the questions. Thank you, guys. A lot of questions that we appreciate it. If you have any further questions, you can find us in Discord. It's free to join Discord. DFScomber.com. You can get the link right there. It's literally free. I'm going to go. I think I'm making a 2v2 swap. So, if you guys are subscribers, I'll tag Discord whenever I change it. But good luck this week, guys. And